Ladies, gentlemen, this is for both of you. This is for all of you because washing stuff? Dang. Yeah, washing things by hand? Wow. Wow. So, let's just get into it without much further ado. 10 years after giving the homemaker the first affordable self contained refrigerator, the monitor top, General Electric, developed the most important labor saving appliance of the century, the automatic top loading washer, disposing one of the week's most time consuming and irksome tasks. If you'd asked your great grandmother what the worst household chore was, she probably would have replied, the weekly wash. Although the first electric washing machines had been introduced at the beginning of the 20th century, early models were little more than primitive hot tubs with moving paddles, lacking many of the functions we take for granted on washers today. They agitated the clothes in hot, soapy water, but they did not fill or empty automatically, which had to be done by hand. By the 1940s, washers were fitted with electric wringers, or mangles, to wring out clothes before they were hung out to dry. Combo washer dryers were still a decade or so away. What takes a modern automated washer 30-45 minutes to do, depending on the cycle chosen, could take a homemaker 2 hours or more with a pre-1947 washer. An ad for the time goes, without wetting a hand, the user of an automatic can do a 9-pound wash in an hour, in a half an hour. A chore that still takes 2 hours using the conventional washers, according to time and motion studies. As we've seen in earlier entries on the sewing machine, the typewriter, the vacuum cleaner, and the refrigerator, women's roles had begun to change in the late 19th century. Women's emancipation continued after the First World War and accelerated after the Second. Women were much more likely to go to work and much less likely to have help at home, though they were still expected to do the bulk of the cooking, cleaning, and childcare. By the mid-1940s, improvements in technology combined with increasing disposable incomes meant that labor-saving domestic appliances were now within reach of most middle-class families. The holy grail of laundry in the post-war U.S., which was finally delivered by the GE automatic washer in 1947, was a fully automated cycle that you turned on and came back to when the clothes had been washed, rinsed, and spun dried. In terms of design and function, the GE automatic washer marked the beginning of modern laundry appliances. The machine had 2 sets of controls. On the left, the temperature selector with a choice of warm, medium, and hot, and the timer, ranging from 3 to 20 minutes. I'm surprised at the 3 minutes. That's very small. Anybody else surprised by that? The cycle selector on the right feature a choice of full automatic cycle, or 45 minutes, or manual settings for soak, wash, rinse, and dry. Once the clothes were loaded, detergent was added to the internal soap dispenser. The washer was plumbed into the house's water supply, and drainage therefore did not require manual filling and emptying. The water entered via the soap dispenser into the machine. When it reached the correct level, the water flowed into the top of the agitator and down into a cup that started the washing action. At the end of the wash, the washer drained and rinsed in the inner tub of suds before initiating a first spin. After completing the rinse cycle, the machine spun at 1,140 RPM, drying the clothes in the inner tub. Water remained in the outer and could be either drained by selecting empty on the main control or reused for another cycle. Again, another thing that fascinates me, it could be reused for another cycle? That seems very efficient and also very very good use of resources. And you could think that like if you had children running around and they had mud all over their clothes and you save that water that you use for those first set of clothes, compared to the mud that's coming out of those children's clothes, that water is not dirty. I imagine it wouldn't be dirty. But that's a very cool thing to think about. Very cool. This is like the first one coming out. It looks super duper cute. And of course, as time goes on, we have new ones, new machines, new types. But before we had the washing machine, look at this. This is cool. This is antique. This is antiquity right here. But this looks interesting too. Like you just turn it around and it just like beats it. That's what it's looking like. I'm not sure. And General Electric. For many of these things that we're bringing to the home, for this one, this was the first like item that really didn't have a single inventor as like in terms of a person, but rather it was a joint effort by the A&D department of General Motor. And that's fascinating to me. Today, I'm sure we don't think much about it, but I suppose companies make changes in products and make slight variations all the time. It's just that today, I don't think they're really coming up with brand new ideas from complete scratch. And I think that's the beauty of General Electric in this sense is that it made such a thing possible. Summer is bearable because inventors made it possible. Air conditioning, washing machine, microscope, refrigerator, television. I know, the television especially. I know. It's a major. I mean, if you are going to be stuck inside all day, are you not watching YouTube? Are you not watching, you know, I would say Netflix, but Netflix has been on my nerves lately, people. Okay? Netflix is making me upset. Um, I don't pay for Netflix. I just steal my sister's subscription, okay? Like a normal person. Um, I just find my way to make it work, but I'm not going to pay for Netflix anymore. It's not worth the price. So YouTube it is for me, I suppose. What are you guys watching? So, for this moment, the floor is open. We've talked about everything. I want to show the washing machine scene and how it works, but as I'm doing that, feel free to drop some things down below. I'm gonna stay here for a minute. It is 8:15. This is why we say 8-ish. But I'm gonna stay here for a minute. Drop something in the box. Talk about it. Let me know. I'll be here for a minute. And in the meantime, we're gonna look at a video of washing machines and how it first started. Oh, or at least a system. Okay, there we go. Or, like, you see, for this one, we're just going to see, like, how it works and what it does, the process of it real quick. So, the top loader GE washing machine. Water. We clean. So, drain all that through those holes, or it comes down the bottom. Interesting. But also very interesting that at that time they really only had 3 minutes available. Really? What do you use 3 minutes for delicates? I guess like all the underwear could be done in one load. If you're thinking family, everyone's underwear could be done all at once, or everyone's delicates could be done all at once. Maybe that's what the 3 minutes would be for. But honestly, 3 minutes? We wouldn't dream of putting anything on 3 minutes. Okay, this is kind of more of a sad scene. Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I know, I'm here to make you a little bit like, yeah, we started off on a good, relatively positive note. We're ending on a, lend me your heart for a minute so I can make you sad, okay? But this is a washing process of before we had washing machines. This is what we're looking at. It's crazy. Yeah, there's some audio going on here, and you remember it. But I mostly wanted to show you that she's legit using a ladle to like move the clothes around in this very big cauldron, almost like full of like hot water. And then she's over there. She's just hands. Again, hands. Yeah, she has a machine that she can like put it down and like rub it, but yeah, you have like a big ladle spoon where you move the clothes around. Maybe these clothes are being pre-soaked, it looks like. Or they're in a hot machine trying to loosen up all the dirt. But yeah, this was life before we had the washing machine. Time consuming, 2 hours. This is what women had to do back in the day to get the laundry done. And in some parts of the world, it's still very much true. Luckily for us in this developed country, we are fortunate to have such a machine. But yeah, I've washed a couple things by hands before, so I'm well aware. All I can say is thank God for technology and inventors. Amen. Amen to that, okay? Technology, yes. Oh my goodness, yes. And the thing about it, we talked about the microscope very, very briefly a little bit. It would appear, but the thing that gets me of how useful, of how many diseases, and just having penicillin, having antibiotics, just those basic things are just have propelled our society to a whole different level. Yeah. Thank God for technology and inventors. We also have to give our inventors a lot of credit, you guys. Our inventors, they go through a decent amount. They really do. And I don't know. I don't know what woman inventor we're going to come across, but I look forward to finding one. I'm not joking, okay? I don't think it's possible. I don't think I'll find any. I'm not roasting them. I know Madame Curie, but I think she's really more of a discoverer than an inventor. Maybe, or maybe she is an inventor. But we're like maybe we'll look into Madame Curie. But Madame Curie is the only one I can think of. Anybody else can think of a woman inventor? No hate on my women, okay? I get it. Like we have to have all the children, so that's where our energy was before when all this was happening. But also for me, though, as a woman speaking, for me personally, I have zero inclination to go in that area and work with all those different metal pieces. Okay, I have none whatsoever. I admire and I enjoy seeing what these men went through, and I'm kind of here as a person who really is giving credit where credit is due. I'm kind of here to highlight the heroes, the unsung heroes, and to give credit to these people who invented such awesome machines and making our lives bearable today. Summer is bearable because of these inventors. So thank goodness for inventors. So I suppose I'm saying thank you to really all of my engineers, all of my builders, and all of my scientists, and also doctors. I guess I'm saying thank you to all the men. And I think this is a perfect way to end. We've hung out for a couple minutes. We got more than enough time. And I will see you tomorrow. I know. I know it's been such a short period of time, but it's also been very long. So, au revoir, à demain, à semaine prochaine.